During the Renaissance, intellectuals and noblemen rediscovered what had been carefully hidden by the church for centuries and allowed for an expansion of scientific advancements we all know of. One could say the birth of the modern age, placing humans at the center of the universe. Today, technology is moving at an exponential rate, and we wonder, with both awe and fear, at times justifiably more the latter, when our human and organic intelligence will be surpassed by machine or inorganic intelligence. Well, one could argue that has happened already, even before quantum computing really comes into our daily life. AlphaZero, how many people in the room here know AlphaZero? Okay, too few, look it up. AlphaZero, Google's DeepMind machine a few weeks ago, beat every other machine ever built, person or combination thereof, after learning in a single day all of chess and Go without other instructions and the rules of the game. Now that's a lot. And on top of that, it could be run from an iPhone today or with 5G. Analysts of this phenomenon don't all agree, but there is some consensus that we don't fully comprehend how AlphaZero did it, and it is different from reasoning and pathway to answers that we're able to as humans and even code a machine as humans. This is partly thanks to what is called reinforcement learning. What matters, though, is that AlphaZero is the first form of synthetic intelligence that is capable of solving more advanced problems than humans without being, one, fed the whole catalog of knowledge of the games, and two, being taught how to make decisions. Furthermore, it is not a purely algorithmic or a computational advantage, but rather another intelligence. And I say another intelligence. Now this means we have entered a new age in which there is another intelligent thing out there which we built that is smarter than us. Not in everything yet, but in a significant dimension for our collective human ego. Yes, we took a blow. So what do we do about it? Do we accept it? Do we keep going on and developing more new forms of intelligence that will challenge ours? Well, in fact, the fact is that friends in Silicon Valley and many tycoons I know who want to stop this march occasionally, at least the way it's going forward, into this machine dominion we can see, can't really realistically be stopped. I had the good fortune to be invited as a futurist for the I7 G7 Commission during the Italian G7 presidency and worked alongside AI experts around the world. And what came out as the strongest unsaid element of agreement was that just like nuclear power, it is amazing and dangerous to let others have it, so we created the mutually assured destruction deterrent strategy my wife just mentioned. And this will happen with AI as China and the US and other global players play their national security cards. It is simply too critical for nation states that there will be a race to be the best. It is almost inevitable, at least for a few years, until we may reach an international agreement on the development rights and ethics of artificial intelligence similar to the Paris Accords. And by the time this is found, it is quite likely we will be surpassed in many dimensions of our intelligence. Now, is that necessarily bad? Is a question nobody has an answer to, but I want to try to think with you about something I'm calling loosely superhumanism. It is my form of preferred future in which we coexist with sophisticated synthetic companion intelligences and hybrid intelligence that have complementary features to ours, and additionally manifest an interest, and I say an interest, in preserving the human in us and around, and perhaps even adopt mimicking features to allow for a peaceful coexistence that supersedes our human weaknesses that lead us to conflict and unhealthy competition patterns. This was the purpose of my reference to the Renaissance. We sorely need an environment conducive to a cadre of people, artists, technologists, anthropologists, psychologists, and more, who can instigate a form of superhumanism in machines that will help them help us. Now, here are some concrete steps towards that. Teaching ethics like Harvard, MIT, and Stanford are pioneering to the 30-year-old white men in Silicon Valley and around the globe that are coding our real-life futures with a sometimes narrow worldview and grave gender imbalance. We need folks like Max Tegmark and others, and many other AI experts, to be given a tribune in more places to educate our global leaders in a way conducive to more superhumanism, not just better AI. And we need financial incentives for companies to move away from building without consequence like we did for the electric car in Norway or solar panels in Germany. And this list continues. But I want to think that WEF Davos is one of the places for this conversation to emerge truly, to make us capable of having a sufficient pressure point on the G20 coming up late in June in Osaka, to make this leap of faith into machines, into giving machines and humans a collaborative objective to achieve this harmonious future. And in so doing, we may help accelerate solutions for the environment, the workforce hoard by automation, and so many more pressing matters governments can't deal with because they're so focused on Brexit and building walls. Thank you very much.